Have you ever returned to a place you once called home, only to find everything changed? What if the people you once knew became strangers, and the world you remembered was now a puzzle you struggled to solve? How do you face the ghosts of your past when they come knocking at your door? Dylan Rhodes had not set foot on Verania in 15 years, yet the memory of this world was etched deeply in his soul. He stood at the edge of the sprawling city, a place both alien and familiar, its towering spires reaching toward skies painted in shades of violet and cerulean. The air was thick with the scent of exotic flora and the distant hum of technology that pulsed beneath the surface like a living heartbeat. The streets below bustled with Verdian citizens, their shimmering skin reflecting the sunlight in hues of sapphire and emerald. Their eyes held stories of triumph and sorrow, a reflection of a society that had endured unimaginable trials. But Dylan saw beneath the surface, sensing the unspoken tension that lay just beneath the smiles and the daily routines. As he walked cautiously through the crowded market district, memories stirred. A younger version of himself playing in these very streets alongside Tala, his childhood neighbor with skin like liquid jade and eyes that glowed with a quiet intensity. She had been a mystery then, a girl from another world whose presence was both comforting and unsettling. Their friendship had been a fragile thread woven through the chaos of their divided worlds, a rare connection between human and Verdian that neither fully understood. And now, as Dylan returned, he wondered if Tala would even recognize him. The past was a complicated tapestry of loss, hope, and unanswered questions. Dylan's footsteps echoed softly against the cobblestones as he made his way toward the old neighborhood, the place where his earliest memories had taken root. The air grew still as he approached a small, unassuming dwelling nestled between towering crystal towers. The door creaked open, and there she stood, Tala. Her gaze met his, a flicker of recognition igniting beneath layers of time and silence. She was changed, more radiant and fierce than he remembered, but the essence remained. The same strength that had drawn him in as a child was still there, tempered by years of hardship and survival. "Dylan," she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of 1,000 untold stories. "You've come back." He nodded slowly, a mixture of relief and uncertainty swirling within him. "I had to." Their reunion was silent, but electric. A meeting of souls shaped by distance and time, burdened by memories and the secrets they carried. Have you ever returned to a place that no longer felt like home? How did you reconcile the past with the present? As the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the city, Dylan and Tala stepped inside together. The walls held whispers of their childhood laughter, of shared dreams now clouded by the darkness that had chased them both. But within that shared silence was a promise, a chance to uncover the truth, to face the dangers lurking in the shadows, and perhaps to find a path forward that neither could walk alone. Tonight marked not just a return to a place, but the rekindling of a bond that could change the fate of worlds. Have you ever wondered how people who once shared their childhood paths reconnect after years of separation? Can the echoes of the past heal old wounds, or do they deepen the scars we thought had faded? How do you bridge the gap between who you were and who you have become? Dylan and Tala's reunion was anything but simple. The years apart had changed them both, woven new threads of experience and pain into the fabric of their lives. Yet, beneath the surface, the familiarity of shared memories flickered like a fragile flame in the dark. They met at the bustling Veranian port, a sprawling hub where ships from across the galaxy docked and departed. The air was thick with the mingling scents of exotic spices, fuel, and the metallic tang of machinery. Crowds surged around them, Yet they found a quiet space between the chaos, an old market alley where time seemed to pause. Tala's emerald eyes sparkled with a mischievous light as she greeted Dylan, her voice teasing yet edged with caution. "So, Earthling, you've come back after all these years. Thought you'd forgotten me." Dylan smiled softly, the memories flooding back. "How could I forget the girl who once showed me the stars?" They shared a laugh, but the warmth was shadowed by a tension neither could ignore. The world they had returned to was not the one they had left. Tala's once innocent gaze held the weight of secrets she was reluctant to share. Dylan sensed the subtle changes, the way she moved, the careful way she spoke, always watching and calculating. As they walked through the crowded streets, Tala led Dylan through hidden paths known only to a few. Her familiarity with the city was apparent. She knew where to avoid patrols, how to slip unseen through surveillance. Dylan followed closely, impressed by her agility and confidence. Their path eventually led to Tala's apartment, a sleek and modern space perched high above the city, filled with artifacts and memories that told stories of a complex past. She moved with grace, her every gesture reflecting a lifetime of training and survival. Sitting across from each other in the quiet room, they began to peel back the layers of time. Tala spoke of the Council's rising influence, of the ancient technologies hidden beneath the city, and the dark forces seeking to control both Verdian and human destinies. Dylan listened intently, his mind racing to process the tangled web of politics and power that now defined this world. He shared stories from Earth, the struggles, the losses, and the resilience that had shaped him. Though their worlds were vastly different, their experiences echoed with a shared pain and determination. The unspoken bond between them grew stronger with every word, every glance. Have you ever found that despite years and distance, some connections remain unbroken? What feelings resurface when you reunite with someone from your past? But danger was never far behind. Unknown eyes watched their reunion, whispers of betrayal and impending threats weaving through the shadows. Tala's past was a storm gathering force, threatening to pull them both into a conflict far larger than either had anticipated. That night, as they prepared to face the coming storm, Dylan looked at Tala and asked quietly, "Are you ready to fight not just for survival, but for a future together?" Tala met his gaze, fierce yet vulnerable. "More than ever." Together, they stepped into the night, their shared history lighting the path ahead even as darkness threatened to consume it. Have you ever discovered a secret so powerful that it could change everything you believed about your past and your future? How would you face the truth when it challenges the very foundation of your identity? The air inside Tala's apartment was thick with anticipation. Walls lined with relics from ancient civilizations and shimmering holoscreens flickering softly created an atmosphere both intimate and charged with mystery. The soft hum of machinery mingled with the distant sounds of the bustling city far below, but inside, time seemed to stand still. Tala led Dylan toward a central console, her fingers dancing across the controls with practiced ease. Images and data cascaded into view. Fragments of history that had long been hidden from the public, stories erased or rewritten by those in power. She began to speak, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "What you're about to see is the truth behind the alliance between humans and the Verdian people, our shared history, our intertwined fates." Dylan leaned in, eyes fixed on the glowing images, ancient texts, star charts, and biological data that hinted at genetic links between their species. His mind raced to comprehend the magnitude of what was unfolding. "This is why you were brought back," Tala continued. "You carry something vital within you, a key to understanding, to unlocking the past that many want to keep buried. Dylan felt a chill run down his spine as images of hybrid children, experiments, and secret councils flashed before him. The implications were staggering, not only for him personally, but for the fate of both their worlds. Their eyes met, a silent understanding passing between them. The weight of this revelation was immense, yet it brought with it a strange sense of purpose and connection. Have you ever faced a truth so profound that it reshaped your understanding of who you are? How did it change your path? As Tala shared more details, the room seemed to grow smaller, the walls closing in with the gravity of the secret. But with every revelation came clarity, a path forward illuminated by knowledge and trust. Suddenly, the calm was shattered by the sharp ping of an alert. Tala's face hardened. "They've found us," she said grimly. "The council is watching. We don't have much time." Dylan's gaze sharpened, resolve settling over him like armor. "Then we fight, together." The moment had shifted from discovery to survival. Their journey was no longer just about understanding the past, it was about protecting the future. The city outside thrummed with unseen dangers as the shadows of power moved closer, threatening to extinguish the fragile hope they had found in each other. Do you believe that knowledge can be both a weapon and a shield? When faced with danger, do you choose to stand and fight or run and hide? Tala activated a hidden passage beneath her apartment, and without hesitation they slipped into the secret tunnels below. The air was cool and damp, the walls lined with ancient carvings telling stories of wars and alliances long forgotten. As they navigated the labyrinth, their steps echoed softly, a reminder that every choice led them deeper into unknown dangers and potential salvation. Together, they prepared to confront the forces that sought to control their destinies and to rewrite history itself. Have you ever felt the cold breath of danger on your neck, knowing every step could be your last? What lengths would you go to when survival demands every ounce of cunning and courage? The hidden tunnels beneath Verania stretched endlessly into darkness, their ancient stone walls etched with stories long forgotten. The air was thick and heavy, mingled with the faint scent of damp earth and the distant hum of machinery from the city above. Shadows flickered in the pale light of Kira's handheld device as she led Dylan through the labyrinthine passages with unwavering purpose. Behind them, the echoing footsteps of their pursuers grew louder, relentless hunters sent by the council to silence the secrets they carried. The walls seemed to close in as danger pressed close, each narrow turn and hidden alcove a potential trap. Dylan's muscles tensed as he scanned the shadows, ready for any sign of ambush. Years of combat had honed his instincts. He moved silently, alert to every whisper, every movement. Kira's eyes glowed faintly in the darkness, her Verdian senses heightened, detecting vibrations beneath the stone floors and the faintest shifts in air pressure. Their escape was a deadly dance of strategy and survival. Kira guided Dylan through secret passages known only to a few, tunnels carved by ancient hands to evade just such threats. They climbed steep staircases hidden behind false walls, crawled through narrow vents, and crossed underground streams that chilled them to the bone. The hunters were relentless. Dark figures clad in armor designed for stealth pursued them, their voices harsh whispers of command and menace. But Dylan and Kira were not mere fugitives. They were partners, their trust in one another growing with every perilous step. As they reached a collapsed passageway, Kira paused, her hand brushing against an ancient control panel. With a soft hum, the wall shifted, revealing a hidden chamber filled with dormant technology. A relic from a time when their worlds had known peace and shared knowledge. Dylan looked around in awe, understanding that their survival might depend on the secrets locked within this forgotten sanctuary. He glanced at Kira, whose expression was a mix of hope and determination. They worked quickly, activating devices that would disable their pursuers' tracking systems, buying precious time. The chamber's walls glowed softly, illuminating their faces as they prepared for the next stage of their flight. Have you ever found refuge in the most unexpected places, places where history and hope intertwine? What secret haven has given you strength when all seemed lost? Beyond the hidden sanctuary, the tunnel opened into a vast underground cavern, a natural cathedral of stone and light. The sound of rushing water echoed, mingling with the distant thunder of storms above. Here, Kira and Dylan paused, catching their breath, their bond solidified by the trials they had endured. But there was no time to rest. The hunters were closing in, their relentless pursuit a constant reminder that the past was not ready to release its grip. As they prepared to move forward, Kira turned to Dylan with a fierce, unyielding gaze. "This fight is not just for us. It's for all those who cannot fight for themselves." Dylan nodded, the weight of their mission settling heavily on his shoulders. "Then we fight not just to survive, but to change the course of history." Together, they stepped back into the shadows, ready to face whatever awaited them in the labyrinth beneath Verania. Have you ever noticed how the most profound connections often form not in loud declarations or dramatic moments, but in quiet, unspoken spaces shared between two souls? How does trust grow when words are few, but presence speaks volumes? In the stillness of their hidden refuge, away from the ceaseless dangers that chased them, Kira and Dylan found a rare moment of peace. The world outside remained fraught with peril, but here, within these walls worn by time and secrecy, they discovered the subtle strength that comes from simply being together. The room was sparse, but filled with small reminders of a shared past. An ancient Verdian tapestry hung alongside earth artifacts carefully preserved by Dylan. Soft light filtered through a narrow window, casting gentle patterns on the floor and highlighting the tension slowly melting from Kira's guarded features. Dylan sat across from her, eyes calm and steady. He reached out, offering a small piece of earth fruit, a simple gesture that held more meaning than words could express. Kira accepted it hesitantly, tasting something unfamiliar yet comforting. They spoke little, their conversation flowing more in gestures than in speech. Dylan showed her a worn book filled with stories and songs from Earth, reading aloud passages that spoke of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love. Kira listened, the cadence of his voice soothing the storm within her. In return, Kira shared fragments of Verdian history, tales of stars and ancestors, of battles lost and won, and the unbreakable spirit of her people. Her voice was soft, but carried the weight of centuries. As days passed, the walls between them crumbled slowly but surely. They learned each other's rhythms, how a glance could convey reassurance, how a touch could heal unseen wounds, and how silence could become a language all its own. One evening, as twin moons bathed the refuge in silver light, Dylan reached out and gently took Kira's hand. It was a small act, but it spoke of trust, of commitment, and a quiet promise that whatever storms awaited, they would face them side by side. Have you ever found that a single touch or shared silence meant more than 1,000 spoken words? How did that moment change your connection with someone? Outside, the shadows of the past crept ever closer, but inside, a fragile warmth blossomed. An ember of hope kindled between two beings from different worlds. Kira and Dylan's journey was far from over. Challenges awaited, enemies lurked in the darkness, and secrets still threatened to unravel everything. But in this quiet bond, they found a strength that neither could have faced alone. Together, they prepared to face the unknown, their hearts quietly united against the gathering storm. Have you ever felt the past catching up to you like a shadow you cannot outrun? What would you do when the secrets you've kept hidden threaten to unravel everything you've fought so hard to protect? When does survival become more than just staying alive? When does it become a battle for your very soul? Kira and Dylan had carved out a fragile sanctuary amid the chaos. Their bond, built on shared pain and growing trust, was the light that kept the darkness at bay. But peace was a fleeting illusion in a universe that never forgot old debts and ancient grudges. The message arrived in the dead of night, a warning flickering silently across encrypted channels. The Council, relentless in their pursuit of control, had dispatched their hunters, elite operatives trained to eliminate any threat to their authority. Kira was no longer just a fugitive. She was the target of a cold, calculated hunt. Dylan paced silently across the dimly lit room, his military instincts on high alert. He ran his fingers through his hair, his mind racing through contingencies and escape routes. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on his shoulders. This was no longer just about protecting Kira. It was about safeguarding the hope their alliance represented. Kira sat quietly by the window, her gaze fixed on the distant stars that reminded her of a home lost forever. The quiet determination in her eyes was a testament to the strength forged through loss and survival. She turned to Dylan, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "They're coming," she said simply. "We have little time." Dylan nodded, his jaw set. "Then we prepare, we fight, not just for ourselves, but for every life depending on us." The hours that followed were a whirlwind of preparation. They fortified their refuge, tested weapons, and mapped out every possible escape and counterattack. Allies were called in. Trusted faces from both Earth and Verania, ready to stand alongside them in the storm to come. Amid the chaos, moments of quiet stillness remained precious. Dylan found solace in Kira's presence, a reminder of why the fight mattered. They shared whispered plans and stolen touches, their connection a lifeline amid the mounting tension. Have you ever faced a moment where the weight of impending conflict was nearly unbearable? How did you find strength in those darkest hours? One evening, as rain lashed against the windows, Dylan and Kira sat together, the flicker of candlelight casting dancing shadows across their faces. "We've come too far to turn back now," Dylan said softly. "Whatever happens, we face it together." Kira nodded, a rare softness breaking through her stoic exterior. Together. Outside, the city held its breath. The storm was coming. Have you ever stood at the edge of despair, only to find that the fiercest battles sometimes bring the greatest hope? What happens when two souls unite against overwhelming odds, creating a force stronger than either could be alone? The dawn broke slowly over the horizon, casting a soft glow across the battered cityscape where Dylan and Kira prepared for the decisive confrontation. The air was thick with tension, a quiet storm before the chaos of battle. Every heartbeat echoed with anticipation, every breath a reminder of what was at stake. Allies gathered quietly but resolutely, their faces marked by determination and a shared sense of purpose. They were not mere soldiers. They were bearers of hope, fighting not just for survival but for the future of two intertwined worlds. Kira moved with quiet grace, her silver skin shimmering faintly in the early light. Her eyes held both the weight of her past and the fierce determination to protect all she loved. Dylan stood beside her, his calm presence a steady anchor amid the storm of emotions. The enemy forces approached with relentless precision, shadowy figures moving through the ruins, their intentions clear and merciless. Yet Dylan and Kira were ready. They had learned to move as one, their strategies intertwined, their trust unbreakable. As the first clash erupted, weapons flashed and echoed through the air. Kira's abilities, strengthened by her Verdian heritage, shattered through enemy ranks, while Dylan's tactical mind directed their allies with quiet authority. Each movement was precise, a dance of survival choreographed by experience and necessity. The battle raged fiercely, but amidst the chaos, moments of connection shone through. Dylan's eyes met Kira's across the fray, a silent vow passing between them. No matter the outcome, they would face it together. Have you ever found strength in a look, a touch, a shared moment amid the noise of struggle? Who has been your anchor in times of war? As the tide of battle turned in their favor, hope blossomed like a fragile flower pushing through cracked stone. The enemy retreated, their forces scattered, the immediate threat quelled but not vanished. In the aftermath, the silence was profound. The cost was high, but the victory was theirs. A testament to courage, unity, and unwavering resolve. Kira and Dylan stood amid the ruins, the dawn light warming their faces. They were battered but unbroken, their bond stronger than ever. The future stretched before them, uncertain, yet filled with promise. As they looked toward the rising sun, Dylan spoke softly. "This is just the beginning. Together, we will face whatever comes next." Kira nodded, her voice steady. Together. Have you ever stood at the threshold of a new beginning, feeling the weight of the past, yet eager to step forward into the unknown? What does it truly mean to rebuild not only a life, but an entire future from the ashes of what once was? The first light of dawn spilled softly over the horizon, painting the sky in gentle hues of pink and gold. The city of Verania stirred awake beneath the quiet glow, its streets slowly coming to life after a long and turbulent night. Kira and Dylan stood side by side on a high terrace overlooking the sprawling metropolis below. The cool morning air wrapped around them like a promise, carrying with it the scent of new possibilities. The battles they had fought, the losses they had endured, and the secrets they had uncovered now felt like distant shadows compared to the warmth that blossomed between them. They were no longer fugitives or survivors alone in a hostile world. They were partners united by hope, courage, and the unbreakable bond forged in fire. Around them, the city hummed with quiet energy, a place slowly healing, just as they were. People moved through the streets with cautious optimism, unaware of the battles won in shadows, the sacrifices made to secure this fragile peace. Dylan turned to Kira, his voice soft but certain. This dawn is more than just a new day. It's the beginning of everything we've fought for, a future built together. Kira smiled, her eyes shining with a mixture of relief and determination. We carry our past with us, but we are no longer defined by it. Today, we choose to build a world where trust and love guide us. Their hands found each other's, fingers intertwining naturally as if they had always belonged together. The silence between them spoke volumes, a quiet vow to face whatever the future held, side by side. The princesses of Verenia, who once stood apart in suspicion and doubt, now walked beside them with genuine smiles and steady hearts. The alliance they had formed was no longer just a political necessity, but a living testament to the power of understanding and compassion. Have you ever experienced a moment when hope returned after darkness? When love became the light guiding you forward? Share your story with us in the comments below. Your voice is part of this journey too. As the sun rose higher, casting long shadows behind them, Kira and Dylan faced the horizon with open hearts and unwavering resolve. The path ahead would not be easy, but together they would forge a future that honored their past and embraced the promise of tomorrow. And so, beneath the new dawn, a story of survival, love, and unity came to a hopeful beginning.